Logical fallacies. Have you ever heard someone say something bad about a person and then complain that everyone who shares that person's race, gender, sexual preference, nationality, and religion is also bad? Have you ever read a discussion thread on social media where two posters disagree about something and then the two end up calling each other names? Have you ever heard a person complain that because one event occurred in their life, then their entire life is therefore going down the tubes? What about a friend or acquaintance who is doing something just because a bunch of people are doing it? If any or all of those scenarios sound familiar, then you've encountered someone who has committed a logical fallacy. Logical fallacies are very simply errors in thinking and reasoning. In our daily lives, we all make mistakes in reasoning and thinking. Nobody's perfect. If we can recognize our errors in thinking, then maybe we can cut down on our mistakes and keep them to a minimum. The same goes for reasoning as it appears in our writing. For example, if we make a claim about something, we want to make sure the claim is backed with solid, persuasive reasoning. If we write about a subject, we want to do so in a critical, yet respectful manner. Taking the time to carefully think our thoughts through can also help avoiding committing fallacies in our writing. Some of the more commonly committed fallacies are an ad hominem fallacy. An ad hominem fallacy is when someone attacks a person's character rather than discuss his or her ideas. Social media debate pages are often places where individuals will resort to attacking one another, often in the form of name-calling or insults, instead of sticking to the issue at hand. The Latin phrase ad hominem means to the person. Another commonly committed fallacy is the appeal to fear. This fallacy plays on the fears of people by imagining a scary future that would be of their making if a set of ideas or policies were accepted and enacted. Oftentimes, when the appeal to fear is made, the person or people creating the fear will do so and then offer a way to overcome the fear. Therefore, the audience will buy into the appeal. Remember, fear is always a powerful motivator. Another commonly committed fallacy is the false dilemma or either-or fallacy. A false dilemma is a fallacy in which an arguer only presents two choices, and the audience is supposed to choose from only those two. If one of those two categories is rejected, then one has to accept the other. It's the old, it's my way or the highway. Oftentimes, there are more than two possible ways of thinking about an issue. However, with this fallacy, only two are presented. Another mistake often made with this fallacy involves one choice being fairly reasonable, and the other choice is presented as preposterous. The audience is in fact left without much of a choice at all. Another commonly committed fallacy is the overgeneralization fallacy or stereotyping. When an argument contains a statement which is far too broad to be confirmed, it contains an overgeneralization. Stereotyping happens to be a type of generalization which can oftentimes be dangerous or even hurtful. This happens when a trait or a set of traits is attributed to certain groups of people. When this fallacy is committed, there is a risk of offending individuals based on their ethnicity, race, religion, age, gender, sexual preference, or other group. And another commonly committed fallacy is the slippery slope fallacy. When an arguer claims one thing will lead to another thing, and then eventually the conclusion will be disastrous, then the arguer may have committed a slippery slope fallacy. Just because the first step in an argument may be a bit unpleasant, that does not necessarily mean the conclusion will be unpleasant. These are just a few examples of some commonly committed fallacies. There are certainly many more. Be sure to think ideas through and avoid committing fallacies in everyday life and in writing. Have fun and enjoy writing.